The Olympics, dude. I mean, I've only seen like some of the basketball highlights, but man, I mean, it's just good to see like LeBron and Kevin Durant. Like, I don't watch them during the NBA, but to see him turn it on and like just dominate whoever they played last, it was, I don't know, it's just
that shit's
nice to see.
cool. So
Yeah. Why? Why are you watching the Olympics, John?
I'm on a tear, man. The fucking opening thing was an absolute fucking circus, whatever the fuck that was supposed to be. And then the boxers beating the shit out of these girls. These girls are getting killed, man. Fighting men.
What?
Really?
There's biological men boxing the women. And they're getting the women. The one girl from Italy yesterday quit. She goes, "I'm getting this is too unfair."
Okay,
I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I'm not either. This is the first I've heard of it. I'm dead serious.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not, dude. I'm not hawking. I'm not like fiending for Olympic news here. Like I'm just checking the medal counts every once in a while.
That's part of my tear. Okay.
Okay.
We got to get on the air because I don't know, waste.
We are on the air.
Oh,
we are on the air.
Yeah.
Is it well look. Are they legitimately I don't know I don't even know how to phrase
trans.
Are they
they're guys they're guys who identify as women and they let them on the fucking boxing team and they're boxing women. The women are getting like destroyed. And it's like
I'm seeing it now. I'm pulling it up. Honestly, and this is the first I've heard of it, but I am pulling it up. Hang on one sec. So this is what I'm seeing just on Google News, where it's like, let's see, Olympic boxing is having a fight about gender. I have not. Again, that was 3 hours ago from Time. NBC has something about it. The Guardian, Fox News, Paris 24 Olympics News, ESPN. So it clearly is something that's going on. I just had no idea. So I guess.
Well, let me ask you a question. And I have no idea. Maybe you know better than I, because but when you're in the Olympics, they test you for testosterone, don't they?
Oh, boy! I'm glad you asked that question. Yeah.
Curious, yeah.
Me too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how ridiculous this is. If you're a dude, okay,
yeah,
and you want to come and you say I identify as a woman, I'm competing against the women. All right, that's it. They just let you. It doesn't matter. Supposedly there was going to be some test with, some blood test with, to test the testosterone levels, and they're supposed to be taking like, an anti-testosterone drug. None of them do it. They're all fucking men. This is the problem, and this is the world stage. Okay, this is not the fucking back of the high school in your town in bumfucked Idaho. Okay, this is the world stage, the U.S. Olympics. This is the big fucking deal, right? And they are absolutely destroying the women's side of the sport by allowing men to compete. How can you? Okay, I can understand maybe something like curling or square dancing or some of those other bullshit sports they do on the Olympics, right? Okay, I can understand the integrating trans, non-trans, whatever, IPDC, AB, USC, MOUSC, whatever they want to be called. All right. So that I can understand. Boxing, a combat sport, you're going to put women against men? That's absolutely nuts.
But two things. One, you're watching it. And two,
no, I'm not.
And two, yeah, you are.
I'm watching the news afterwards.
And the second thing is, it only takes one to legitimize. Like, if the trans person gets knocked out by the woman, then what? Then what do you say?
Right.
First of all, I don't see that happening because.
But it could happen.
Look at the dudes; they're 6'4". I mean, this is ridiculous. This is the problem. On the world stage, okay?
Yeah.
If you suck at a sport, if you are absolute in the last quarter of your division in men, you can actually say, all right, I'm tired of losing. I'm going to go put on a dress, identify as a woman, and I'm going to go compete against the women, and I'm going to win, which is and the swimmer or whatever that freak's name is, same thing. He's a big dude. He's 6 foot something. He's changing in the locker room with the women. He's beating them. And it's like, what the fuck? The one girl, Riley Gaines, she tied him. All right. And they still gave it to the fucking dude. So
Okay,
But you
why-
can't turn
why-
pro though, right?
But why would
Zach?
you
Can
call a
turn
person?
pro?
I don't know. I mean, but why? But I just
There's
want to
no-
know why, John. Why would you call that person a freak?
why would I call him a freak? Because they're a dude and they're trying to be a girl, dressed as a girl. They still got their facial hair, their beards, glitter in the beard, whatever. It's fucking nuts. They're freaks. They're
What's the
absolute
person?
freaks.
What does this person say? He's a swimmer. It's a swimmer. I don't understand. Like, this is for real. I don't know that. I'm not paying attention. Like, just like Frank, I'm seeing it in passing, and I didn't even know there was this kind. I saw the whole thing about the opening ceremonies, and for me, I don't get involved with that stuff because art is art. I don't get art as it is most of the time. I look at paintings, and sometimes I see splatters, and they're like, "No, that's like a $10 trillion painting," and I'm like, "Wow, okay, well."
I get
So-
I get you there. That's
Like, that's fine, but
completely
I did not even. I swear I did not hear about this. I'm not
What's-
even trying to play the middle of the road here. I just don't know
No.
about it.
Oh wow. Okay.
What's more aggravating to you, John? One, that these people are, the people that, are 6'4" and now they claim they're transitioning to women, men's transitioning to women. I don't know the correct terminology. That the women who train don't have an equal playing field, or is that it's just abnormal to you because you've never seen it before?
No, I grew up in New York, bro.
Like, what is
I've
that?
seen everything. No, what bothers me is the degradation of women's sports. Women's
Okay.
sports are for women, hence the name. Okay? Doesn't mean that you're a dude, you suck at your sport, and you want to dominate by beating the girls. That's nuts.
But-
okay?
But if and Zach and I said we're going to identify as women, right? And we're gonna go into United States volleyball, Olympic volleyball team. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna lose.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna lose, and we're gonna lose big.
Yeah.
Only because you don't play volleyball. All right?
But it's still, these people have to have. I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be transgender boxers knocked out. I'm telling you.
It's been 5 years or so and still never happened, and it would be great if you got some kind of fucking Beulah from Russia coming in there. I mean, that would be amazing, but it doesn't happen. Okay.
Look,
So
I
what-
see your
what do you
point, but you everyone's gonna look at you with the old Italian guy sitting in his
no,
backyard
they're
by
not.
the fig tree. Get off my lawn, you
Get
No,
out.
I'm sorry, you're wrong. I am in the absolute majority. The weird thing is that these fucking federations let it happen. That's crazy. If you had a daughter, okay, Zach, you have a daughter, okay,
I do.
she's gonna grow up. She says, "I want to be a boxer." Okay, you need a
Yep.
boxer. She's boxing. She's training every day for years. She makes the Olympic team. Now she's against a dude. All of that training, all that stuff. The dude beats the shit out of her. Her eyes all puffed up. Her jaw's broken. She's knocked out. How are you gonna feel about that?
I'd feel bad for her. I'd be like, look, you gave you shot your shot. Come on.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Frankie, it's okay with you
Life
then
ain't fair.
for men to compete against women.
but here's the
I
thing: there's
can't-
got to be
listen,
rules.
honestly,
There's-
Honestly, I could care less.
I
I
know
don't
you
care
could
anymore.
care.
There's so many things going on in this world that I don't even
Such a
care.
good point.
I really don't care. Like, if somebody wants to be who they want to be, fine. But I'm
Yeah,
telling
but
you,
I-
there's got to be more rules to it. There's just got to be I
That's
think
what I'm
drug
saying.
testing and stuff. Yeah, I mean, but I've seen MMA people, women, men, same weight class, just sparring, and I've seen men get their ass kicked. But look, it's a whole new world. You know what I mean? It's like, sit down and sit in Manhattan, Times Square. It's a whole new world. Everything
go
is
to Penn
changed,
State.
but
Go
I
to Penn
see your-
Station. Yeah.
I see it both ways, but look, you don't think that some of these female bodybuilders could destroy in the same weight class men currently as it is?
I mean, as bodybuilders,
I'm not saying like Olympia versus Olympia, but I'm saying some of these women who are, overly muscular, have taken it to that next level. You don't think they could beat men?
you go back to the federation there. What are the rules? Okay, what are you looking for?
Weight class.
I think in
I'm
a
saying-
subjective sport like
So
bodybuilding,
let's say they come in 175, 180 weight class, head-to-head bodybuilding, mandatory shots.
Yeah, I think that's fucked up. I think it's one is for women and one is
No,
for
no, no,
men.
no. I know that. No, I'm saying, you don't think that some of these women could beat
No,
these
because
men as is? Oh, I do.
I mean, of course. I mean, if you put in a girl who's like 175, 5'4", she's shredded and huge and veiny, and you put her next to the Pillsbury Doughboy, okay, yeah, she wins. But if you're going if you're going best for best, and you put a man against a woman, and they're both at 100%, it's two different things. It says who wins, the banana or the orange. I mean, it's like you're mixing two things up. But with contact sports and things like swimming, running, jumping, all that pole vaulting, all of that shit, men are inherently stronger and bigger, and they're gonna win. And it happens almost 99.9% of the time. Other than Riley Gaines tying that, whatever that other fucking freak's name is other than her tying him, that's as close to a win that you're ever going to get.
I throw Andrea Shaw in one of these classes. There's no way that she doesn't beat a whole slew of top-notch competitors. No way she doesn't. Absolutely not. I do Shanique Grant at her best in one of those. Like, there's a ton of people that you could throw in at any of these national shows or pro shows that they could beat.
Yeah, but
if they
but
want
you're,
it, if
but
they
you're
choose
talking about
to
a
go to that
visual.
level.
You're talking about a visual thing. There's no sport being played.
No,
okay?
I'm talking strictly bodybuilding. No, I'm not talking about sport.
If you want to stir the cauldron like that, yes, okay, definitely. Andrea Shaw could beat some little fucking dweeb. Absolutely.
What I wouldn't do to have Andrea Shaw's delts right now.
Me too. Okay, Grant,
awesome.
but again, you're talking about aesthetics. Okay, I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about swimming, jumping, running, baseball, boxing, all of that shit.
I'm just playing. Look, I'm playing the Skip Bayless to your Shannon Sharp right now. I'm just saying. I go to the gym right now. I just left, and some girl was hip thrusting like 6-7 plates on each side. Some competitor. There's no way.
Oh, what happened?
Frozen.
What happened, Frank?
I don't know. Everybody's frozen.
I'm not frozen. You're frozen?
Yes, you are. You're
Me?
choppy. Yep. Now you're good.
What's going on here?
All right, yeah. I'm saying someone doesn't agree with me on the X platform.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I went to the gym just now, and there was a girl in there hip thrusting like 645s on each side. I couldn't do it.
I got a girl in my gym. She deadlifts 405. I mean, yeah, there's definitely strong, big girls out there. But what my point is not the aesthetic. I mean, I get your argument, Frankie, totally, and I totally agree with you. But I'm talking about strength sports that require contact, combative, racing, sprinting, jumping, all of that shit that requires strength. Women are at a disadvantage against men. They're just not built the same. So that's why we have men's sports and women's sports.
You've never seen Xena the Princess Warrior? Xena kicked some ass, or the Red Sonja.
Oh, but yeah, she did. There's always standouts. But here's my problem. The Olympics is supposed to be a source of national pride, right? We are the prideful America, superpower of the world, putting up an Olympic team. We're beating the Russians, the Chinese, and fucking everybody, right? So it's patriotic. We want to see America win. Then you got this opening ceremony that was right out of like freaking God knows where, some freak show. And then now you got, why does the word freak bother you, Zach?
It doesn't bother me, but I honestly, you're extremely negative today, and
I'm angry. I'm angry about what's going on.
He's ranting.
Okay, but here's the other thing. You've been to other countries and experienced other cultures. They may not do the same things as us. I mean, nudity is far accepted everywhere else except here. I feel like we're very prudish in this country about a lot of shit. And so if they're going to go do something that's a little bit artsy or whatever, I'm not going to sit there and nitpick it. I'm like Frank. Whatever, dude.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
what? My life isn't
I
going to
I
change.
get it. I get it that you don't care. I get that. I
I
don't
want to
care
watch
either.
it now, though. I'm watching boxing now, though. Since you brought it up, I'm gonna
No,
watch it.
yeah, I
Because
didn't even know.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Look, it's over the last 10 years. Like, look, we grew up, tear down that wall, and all this other stuff with Reagan and this and that, and like that whole thing. And, back in the day, there was a stigma for Russian athletes, the women, they were men. Now they're like, you talk about Russian women, like, oh my God, they're like models, they're super duper hot and this and that. Like, things have changed. I don't know. Like, if other countries are providing the same types of competitors, then what's the problem? What's the American pride if everybody's doing it too? If it's open
See, that's the
season.
thing. It's. I think it's more than American pride is a whole other story, but I think it's totally relevant too because it's not just America. This is all over the world. This is happening. The one boxer was Italian. The other one was from I don't know where else, Romania or something. So this is worldwide. The point I'm trying to make is that if this continues, women's sports is going to die. Women's sports will be dominated by men. That's what's going to happen. And that's just not fair. Women deserve at their own playing field if they're going to play sports. They shouldn't have to worry about being a boxer and having to worry about getting the shit beat out of them by a dude.
Okay, but so can you explain to me this? And this is, I'm hoping you can. So you said there's no actual like process here. You can just say, I'm going to be participating against the women. Like, so you can do that. There's absolutely no process of certification or anything like that.
If you identify as a woman, what is that fucking swimmer? I can't think of his name, her name, its name, whatever.
Michael Phelps. He's the best swimmer.
Michael Phelps is a dude.
He's the best swimmer.
The girl that's trying to be a dude. What the fuck is her name? I can't think of it. Somebody out there help me out. And it swam against Riley Gaines, the American gold medalist, and they tied. That was his best. That was the best any dude has ever done against a girl. I mean, any girl has done against a dude.
Is this open for every division in the Olympics for women?
That's the thing is they allow it, so you can say
Everything?
And you notice how they cherry pick. Okay, you're not going to get a woman. You're not going to get it. Actually, it is in the weightlifting. If they're doing weightlifting, dudes against women, the women are getting crushed. So it's so unfair and it degrades. Look, when I grew up, the Olympics was a big deal. The Olympics was coming on. We all gathered around the TV, right?
Oh,
It was right?
Oh, you mean Bruce Jenner?
Yeah, Bruce Jenner, exactly. When he was Bruce, when he won the
Also,
decathlon.
by the way, Michael Lanos, he has the name of the person. It's Rosie O'Donnell. That's the swimmer you're thinking of, right? We appreciate the help, Michael. We appreciate that. Like
Thanks,
I said,
dude.
Michael, or the shark from Jaws, maybe. I don't know. Like
Zach and I defending this are going to open ourselves up to so much.
yeah.
So many 100% males screaming at us, calling us this and that. I don't care. I really don't. I get it.
I know that you don't care, but there's 330 other million people in this country that do
If it was
care.
my daughter, I'd be like, and she'd be like, Dad, I can't win. I'd be like this. Wah, train harder. What do you want me to do? Like, if this is the route around that you picked, go train harder. But honestly, you can't have if someone transitioned, from what I understand, from a woman to a man to a woman. What I guess that's what you said. I don't know, but they're not going to be open to doing a separate division, like a transgender division, because they identify as women. So the chances of having another division wouldn't happen. Am I right, Zach? I don't know.
It sounds right to me.
Leah Thomas, that's her name. Its name. Leah
Even
Thomas.
Back to the Future. No, it's Leah Thomas.
Leah Thomas. I was going to say the same thing.
Leah Thomas is a 6'4" dude with a women's bathing suit on. Okay, and it competes against women. That's
Why
wrong.
keep going?
I don't care. I don't know. I know you don't care, but it's wrong. If you cared, if your daughter was a swimmer, you're not going to say, "Oh, work harder." You're just going to be like, "This is unfair." That's a dude. You're a girl. That's a dude. The
Obviously,
dude should not be against
didn't you
the
grow
girl.
up in an Italian family? Didn't you grow up in an Italian?
Yeah.
What are you, smallest violin?
But also, like you're
That ain't
you keep
right.
you keep calling these people it. I mean, I don't know.
They're
To me,
people.
that's yeah, they're human beings.
You know why?
Like that's just
You know why? Because these people are mentally ill. If you're a guy and you think you're a girl, you're mentally ill. You have mental illness. But in this country, we don't treat it as mental illness. We celebrate it.
It's
We give
actually,
them sports to play in.
ac-
We give them different
actually,
divisions and different pronouns. We completely coddle these people when they should be in a fucking mental hospital.
well, the show that I watched before they have the surgeries and stuff, they have to go through a complete protocol of mental, like psychiatric evaluations and stuff. So I think you're
Right.
wrong
If you
on
want
that
to
one, buddy.
transition. Yeah. No,
yeah. I
that's
also think
that's
I also think about this. If okay, so if you probably can't put yourself in this position because you're happy with who you are, but if people are so miserable in their lives and they feel like they're trapped in something and they want to find something else and they find happiness, I don't have a problem with that. I just want people to be happy.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, no. You
How is
can't
that
do
no?
that. You can't do that at the expense of somebody else. You can't do that.
I
You-
don't,
you makes the
I'm
rules.
not. I'm not. I'm just talking about just in general because you keep calling these people it. So I mean, to me, it's like they're whatever they have to do to be happy is fine. As far as the protocol for how they're being in or out of the Olympics, I don't understand it. I don't. I have to look into it. I'm just kind of I'm improving here, trying to just have a
I'm
discussion, but I
I'm
don't
more
know.
I'm more upset that the Biden administration has cost me $6 to buy Uncle Giuseppe's chili than I am about this Olympic thing. I mean, it was $9.99, now it's $15.99. Like, let's do something about these exorbitant prices of groceries right now. Like, it's insane. Like, a bag of groceries is $100 now. Like,
Oh, more than
since
that.
so I don't care what people say about, this administration because I know previous things were a lot cheaper. But
Well,
I
this has got.
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about an uneven playing field. But isn't that the case of PEDs, John, as
No,
well?
absolutely not. PEDs are available to everybody. It's not some secret thing you can't get your hands on. Everybody
But
can
if
get.
they're but if they're not sanctioned by the rule, if they're illegal in terms of
Yes.
the rules and you use them, then that is cheating, right?
Of course,
The
it's
home run
cheating.
record in
And
baseball, right? The home run record in base, everything is doesn't have an asterisk on it, right? The guys who
Yeah,
got
now it
caught
does in the
for
record
PEDs.
book. Yeah, but that was a whole other stupid thing. This has got nothing to do with the administration. This is worldwide, and this is bad. This is bad for sports. It's bad for women. It's bad for women's sports, and it's just bad optics. I mean, it's just
Well,
terrible.
riddle
So
me this, Batman. Riddle me this. If you were allowed, if you were allowed to take PEDs as a female boxer, would you be happy that even the playing field if they were competing against transgender athletes?
yeah, that would work. That would help.
All right, well, see, all right, see, Zach, I'm a
See,
troubleshooter.
yeah. What Frank is Frank's what we call a problem solver. He just fixed the problem.
Yeah.
So
He's the
listen,
fixer.
I'm going to call Mr. Olympic, Mr. and Mrs. Olympics, or whoever runs it, and tell them that Frank Seppi has now come up with a solution because John went on a rant and we came up with a solution that will help everybody
Give the
feel
women
better.
drugs. Yep.
Yes, give them more
I like
drugs.
that.
But I
But
mean,
see,
I will
you
say,
know,
I am going
this
to
whole
look this up now. Though.
this whole conversation is indicative of my point. We don't care. Nobody cares. This is the Olympics, the U.S. Olympic team, the best amateurs in the country are supposed to be
Except for
competing.
NBA.
We're supposed to be supporting them. We're American, patriotic. We're supposed to be helping these
Look.
people. Instead, it's Frank. I don't give a fuck. I care about my chili sauce. Okay, that's the problem. That is the whole problem.
Let me go on my rant now. First of all, the Olympics is progressing because it's the first black African American, whatever, to be a self-made billionaire in the Olympics in LeBron James. So let's look at that right now as far as United States pride. Two, transgender, I don't what people transition into men and women. I don't care because I feel as though there's not in certain sports there's not an uneven advantage. I feel like certain things have to be tweaked, but I don't like I don't. If someone wants to do what they want to do, I don't care. Like it's not like us back in the day. Like I'm gonna take all this stuff to look a certain way. It is what it is. I don't call them its. I don't call them that. I'm fine with it. I don't. It doesn't bother me. But if I had a daughter who was competing, I would be upset if she lost in anything. I would find
Yeah.
a loophole. I would be like, the refs cheated. The
Lose,
cheated. She
losing
cheated.
is
He
one
cheated.
losing is one thing, but getting your eye socket broken is another thing. You know, it's just like it's the unfairness is too canted the wrong way. I can understand a little unfairness. I don't want to see a pipe and Vaseline come out when you got that. You're going to try to Richard Gere.
I was going to say I was going to say the countdown to when Richard Gere will be brought up whenever there's like a gerbil or mouse or something.
Do it.
This is not real. This was part of a glue. You know, my son bought it for me. He was laughing because I had a rat in my house. So he's like, Dad, he goes, use this to trick them to get on the glue trap. But,
Lure him in.
Yeah, lure him in. So but he's more like when my dog's in my car, it's his toy. So he likes to, it comforts him when he's sitting in the front seat because he's an upset stomach, so he chews on the rat. This has not been probed in any way.
No, but you know, I will read more about it now because I'm curious as to
watch
at
it.
least how you know, yeah, I'll watch it too, but also just how it's all put together. I just never even, I'm not even kidding. I never even thought it was a
didn't know.
thing. I thought things were just kind of going as they were, but yeah.
It's bad. Look, here's another example. They took I think it was the women's Olympic soccer team or the
Oh yeah.
national women's soccer team, and they played against a high school boys soccer team. The
Right.
high school boys soccer team destroyed them. I don't think they scored 1 point, and the guys scored like 36. I mean, it was
Wow.
completely obliterated them, and that was a great example of how this plays forward. You're going to completely, if this continues, you are going to completely kill women's sports. Why would a woman, let's take boxing, why would a girl boxer want to go in the Olympics when she knows she's got to box a dude that's a foot taller than her, 50 pounds more than her, and is going to beat the shit out of her? I'm not going to do this. She's not going to do that. So
Yeah.
what do you got? You got nobody.
All right.
Duly noted.
Yeah, Julie, no,
On
John's in a good
semen
mood.
retention.
John's in a good mood. Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so Michael, he's asking about semen retention. Evidently, he's now on this journey of zero masturbation and zero ejaculation, and he says it's helping him.
Helping him what?
What are you
that's-
saving it for? What? Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's like, so from what tell me, Michael, you can, anything you want to chime in here with, but from what I've read in the past, I don't have anything in front of me, is that some people say it helps with like focus or energy or keeping your
No, it
vitamins
doesn't.
in. I don't know. Dude, I'm telling you what I read. Whether this is accurate, I don't think so. We've talked about this before. I don't understand this, but hey, if you want to, tell your side of it, dude, go, please help us out here. Help us try to understand. Cause we've talked about, none of us get it. I don't get it.
John.
And there's no
John.
science to support it. Zero.
No, no. I mean, you look at the memes,
like,
and
don't read
on TikTok, they're like, be the person you always wanted to be, and the first thing is no porn, no sugar, read books for 10, 20 minutes a day, do cardio, and everything else, and it's just part of the whole thing. And I guess like over time, like even in Rocky, women weaken legs, so you're not allowed to sleep with your wife for 12 weeks. So it's like, I guess it's part of that. But I have never heard of any medical evidence.
I have to dispel that rumor about the boxers. The reason boxers are dissuaded from having sex before the match is that in order to have the sex, they have to go out and party. So 'cause if
Oh.
they're single, so
Makes
they're
sense.
out in the clubs the night before. You're trying to bag a girl the night before the club. Then they show up the next day. They're hungover. They're head weak. They've been out all night. That's no way to go into a boxing match. So that's why they say no, women weaken legs, is because you got to go out and get one. If you're married, it's no big deal, or if you have a girlfriend, it's no big deal. But if you're a single dude, which most boxers are, you got to
I don't
go
know
out there
why.
and score. So
Like, yeah, like plus if they're out there, they're dancing, so like that's a lot of cardio for the legs, you know. Especially if they're doing some, I don't even know what some dances would be. What are the the jitterbug, or I don't know what do people do anymore.
The Macarena?
floss. Yeah, the
Macarena? The forbidden dance?
Charleston,
Don't do the forbidden dance.
But-
You go.
So Michael says it's helping his concentration and spiritual relationship with God. That's what he's doing this for.
then God bless him.
All right.
Yeah, then hey man, go
Onward,
yeah.
dude. Onward,
Yeah,
dude.
good for you. I
it
again,
up.
if it
Awesome.
works for you,
My question is, what's he going to do with it when he's done saving it?
well, I mean, there's OnlyFans, there's eBay, there's a lot of places nowadays. Craigslist, there's
I don't know.
eBay.
I would think you ever watch that movie? I think it's 40 Days, 40 Nights with Josh Hartnett, and like he's supposed to like abstain from having sex with any girls or this and that, and they all bet against him, and they're all trying to lure him into like bet and stuff like that, and he's going nuts, and he can't focus on anything. Everything he sees, is like something sexual. Like anytime he's eating something or watching. So how's that going to increase your focus? I don't get it. Right, John? Like after a couple of weeks. Like,
Here I
of
got
that,
to tell you.
like,
See this? I gotta
Yep.
fill this up and bring it to the lab because I had a vasectomy a few weeks ago, and I got to see if there's any swimmers left. So
Oh,
this poor dude wouldn't be able to comply. So yeah,
I've had to do that before too. Honestly, it was the most uncomfortable thing ever, but because I had to do it at the doctor's office, it was horrible.
dude, I'm 6 weeks overdue. I can't bring myself to do it.
It's horrible. Oh, it was. I could hear people in the other room talking about like work shit. Like, hey, how's it going? How was last night? And I'm like in there, like, oh my god, I can't do this.
why? I did mine at home, and they had cup, and they had to bring it back by like you have an hour.
Yeah, you got an
And I, like,
hour.
handed it off to my wife like it's a Olympic
Yeah.
baton. And
It says right here, I got an hour.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep, within
Yeah.
within 1 hour.
wow. You imagine that? Like you pass it off, it's like a slow motion. Chariots of fire.
Or I'm driving here, I'm stuck at a light, and I'm going, come on, it's going bad.
All right. So
I was gonna
okay.
say something. Is that when they say like, are you carrying? Oh, I can't even say carrying any load in your car.
Michael is not. I can tell you that Michael's not. He also he says he says it's really beneficial to feeling stronger and focus and breathing. Like it starts in
How
your
about it?
scrotum. I'm aware of the moment where I either have sex or masturbate, and I embrace my emotions. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
is it?
I learned to embrace my emotions and emote and talk. But I mean, I have, I'm a married guy, and I'm not doing that. I'm just not. It's just not for me. Like if it's for
doing
you,
that?
great.
My question is, how does he know? I mean, has he completely eliminated everything else from his life? How does he know it's not the milk he's drinking or the Diet Coke or the
Good point.
whatever he's doing? How do you hone in on? I got my balls are full, and this is making me feel, calm. My relationship with God. How do you know it's not the fucking tree you're looking at? I mean, how do you know? We're frozen again.
We are.
How do you know? How are you able to
see.
specifically associate a specific reaction to that act, or non-act, as it were?
That's
don't know.
that's a good. I don't know.
Like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't know.
Aloha, Mr. Hunt. Mr. Yeah, that is a good point though. It's also like, but also maybe it's just maybe this person needed a change, and they latched onto this, and they've convinced themselves that it helps. And if that's the case, fine. I would have found something else. Maybe I would have read a book more. Maybe 15 pages of a book a day. that would have done it for me. But if not masturbating or having sex is what works for you, who am I to tell you how to live, man? But I just don't get it.
Have at it. Look,
Yeah.
people have different people. Everybody's different when it comes to sex too. You know, some people are, they're content with once, twice a month, and some people every day. You know, it is what it is. Some people don't put a
Yep.
lot of stock into it. But let me ask you this: would I have started weight training? One of the biggest reasons you start weight training is to attract women. For me, like that was the key. Like it was funny. Sadiq said once, he goes, he's like, I started lifting weights to get girls, and he's like, little did I know on social media I attract more dudes. He's right. But which is nothing wrong. But I'm like, one of the primary reasons as a young teenager you start to lift
Yep.
weights is, if you think there's a sexual component to it, is to obviously attract, for some people the opposite sex or whatever, so there's the other side of the coin.
That's totally true. I started lifting weights because I was fat and I felt not attractive. So yes, and I ended up at the end of high school dating the hottest girls. I mean, so it was
Yeah,
it
buddy.
definitely worked. Whether it was my body or my confidence, I don't know. But man, when you're jacked and you're young and you're like dominate everybody, I was one of the biggest dudes in my high school at like 165 pounds. So you can tell where that was. But but that feeling of
Yeah, I agree with that. John and Zach, as you know, like posters were a big thing. Like
Yep.
you
Yeah.
could tell by a kid's room. My room, I had Madonna, right, in the white tank top and all the things. I had Samantha Fox, I had Heather Thomas and Heather Locklear on posters on my wall. Those are the people. So then when I started lifting weights, that people like, who'd you have on the wall, Arnold? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm older than you. I had Farrah Fawcett, but I had her on the ceiling.
You know what? Everybody had that. Was probably one of the most iconic posters of all time. The Farrah Fawcett. She started
with
it
the
all.
nipple. I know that was probably the hottest picture I had seen in my life up until that time. So, and it endured, man. That shot. You're right, Frankie. That's an iconic. Iconic post. I would probably say multi millions, if not billions, of those posters were sold.
Can you
I believe
imagine
it.
how much money? Like I was watching a documentary on Playboy and Bob Guccione, his debauchery, whatever. Like they were selling at one point 7 to 8 million copies a month
Wow.
of Playboy magazine, and think about that, 8 million. Like if they were making 4 times what they were making on the on the print, like think about that. It's crazy
Nuts.
how much money they were making.
If they made only
month.
$1 off each magazine, they'd be freaking rolling in it.
They were making more than that because
Oh yeah, I'm saying
it wasn't
and then
cheap
they
back
got
then,
advertising on top of it. So I mean, yeah, that was huge money back then. Bob Guccione was actually my neighbor in Puerto Vallarta.
When he was rich or when he was on a downfall.
Well, when he was rich, isn't he dead now? So, but
Yeah, he was worth, like, you watch the documentary on Netflix, he was worth a ton of money, and
Yep.
then he lost it all.
He lost it all.
According to the documentary.
Yep.
I'm like, didn't anybody just say, look, you're making like, I don't know, 50, 60 million, just take $1 million out and put it in an IRA or something. You're not gonna miss it. Like, do you need a gold toilet seat or whatever? Just maybe put 500. If you would have put 500,000 or $1 million in front loaded insurance policy, and like you'd probably be getting like $1 million a year right now for or put it in an index fund or something where you don't have to take it out for tax. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, how could you make that much money and just be broke?
I wonder the same thing. And a lot in our
man.
industry specifically. You look at some of these guys that own supplement companies, and they had bajillions of dollars, Ferraris, Lambos, big houses. There, how do you end up with nothing after that? I don't get. What divorce will take it all from you, but or going to jail. You know, we had PJ Braun on the RX Muscle podcast yesterday, Tuesday, and you know he went from owning Blackstone Labs to driving Ferraris and blah, and going to prison for 2 years, and now he's got nothing. So
he's got a Ford Escort GT from '94.
He's got a Challenger apparently. So no, but I mean
that's awesome.
Now, when he was making those bajillions of dollars, like Frankie just said, take $100,000, put it in an index fund, and leave it there. Forget about it. And at least worst comes to put in somebody else's name too. Worst comes to worse, you got that right.
Okay, but my question is, did he spend all of his money on legal representation? Is that where it all went?
$4 million on legal representation.
Dude, I mean, yeah, like
O.J. Simpson, after he got that lawsuit against him, they couldn't touch his money, and the reason being was because you can't touch a retirement fund.
Pension, right?
A retirement fund is not. Right. You cannot sue a retirement fund. So O.J., from what I read somewhere, I don't know, cite my source, I don't know, but it was somewhere around $300,000 a year tax free.
Yep.
For the rest of his life. I don't know if it's NFL. So if some of these guys were to create an annuity back in the debt, like in a retirement annuity, no matter how many lawsuits they have, they would be able to at least live on something.
Right. Or a piece of property, a piece of an apartment building, get some rental income. They don't do any of this shit. It boggles my mind. The first thing I do when I get a check is I skim a portion of it off and it goes over there. It's called paying myself, and that's it. If the paycheck is $1,000, let's say I take 100 out. I make believe the check was $900. The 100 doesn't exist. So
yeah, I do the same, but for my kids. Yeah, right. I do the same mostly for my. I do have like obviously a savings, but I do the same for my kids to make sure that they, can go to college, because I'm sure it'll be $10 million a year by the time they're actually going to.
All I know is I got 11. I got 11 more payments, and I'm done.
Yeah,
for divorce.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Frankie, that was the happiest day of my life when I wrote that last child support check. I wrote it in red pen. I put little flowers in the corners.
All right, Dutch, I got you, man. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, Dutch asks, are there more bodybuilders dying recently, or is the death rate the same, but it seems to be more because of social media?
Interesting.
There's a crackling, by the way. Does anybody hear the crackling?
I know that
somebody's crackling.
I don't know where that crackling is coming from. It's driving me crazy.
Sounds like something's loose.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it sounds like. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like. There you go. Crackling. Yeah. So.
Nope, they're back. It's back.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself and see if it's me.
Crackling. Yeah, it's Zach.
No, there's no crackling. There's no crackling. Yeah, it's Zach.
All right.
Check your connection, like right here.
He's gonna pick that mic up and slam it on the wall because he's not natty anymore.
He's getting pissed. Now he's still muted.
You're muted, bro.
You're muted and you're still crackling.
No, I'm getting upset. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that drives me up the walls.
You think I was hot going in about the Olympics? Wait till Zach starts throwing his mic against the wall.
Are more people dying? I don't know. I think more people are you talking about competitors? Because I think more people are competing than ever before because there's more contests around the world than anything. But I don't know if, did we know about people? There was no social media, so we don't know about some guy in Uruguay who died, who was a bodybuilder, who would never come. It was very hard, so I don't know. Who knows?
Well, you hit on an important point. Bodybuilding is bigger. So if you have more of a population, obviously death rates are going to go up. But here's the problem. There's a group of people out there that hover over bodybuilding just waiting for somebody to die so that they can get on their fucking anti-steroid soapbox. And it's it's almost like if you become a bodybuilder, all right, then you're not allowed to die. Dying is forbidden. Because if you die, no matter what you die, if a train could hit you when you're 80 years old, that's the fucking steroids.
He's right. He's 100% right. Because when Franco Colombo died, he drowned. Like,
Yeah.
right? He drowned
Right.
there. People like, some older guy in the gym, he's like, oh, have you seen Franco? And I'm like, he died. Oh, well, of course. I'm like, he was like 80. He
Yeah.
died in the water.
And he
Like,
drowned.
people
I know.
they just
Yeah.
give me a break. Like,
But
it's so ridiculous.
but on the
They're
back half
so
of that
stupid.
question, I think it is true that everything gets amplified more now because of social
Yeah.
media, because so many people
Yeah.
are on it. So it's whether the rates are different or not, I don't know. But it's like John said, it's just we learn about them more because it's out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got this faction of people that are just dying for, pun intended, or just waiting for it to happen so that they can jump on their soapbox. And it's like every sport. Well, here's the caveat. 2021, when we had COVID, okay,
Hmm.
31 bodybuilders died in 2020.
Wow.
That was 11 times. I researched this and did all the math, so I know that was 11 times what the normal death rate was. The only thing that was different in 2021 was what? COVID. The drugs
Hmm.
were the same. The training was the same. The protocols were the same. The risk was the same. Everything was the same. The only thing that changed was COVID. Given that, they're still on the soapbox. Oh, look at them now. They're dying in droves. I mean, it's the steroid. When are they going to get rid of these drugs? They're killing these guys. Completely false. But because they got a platform, they got social media, they can make a post and denigrate an entire division of guys because of their personal stupid belief.
Well, it's also too. It's so different now with social media. Like, if you watch the old, like, talk shows and stuff where bodybuilders are on and they're posing, and the talk shows is like, and you're 100% natural, and they're like, yeah, I am, and they're hitting that, like, shots and this and that, and like, you're like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's more front and center. It's like, if you would see a person, you'd be like, I don't know if he's on, he's not on, she's on, he's on. Now it's like, oh, now it's more of a question who's not on. They go around on TikTok and these things, natty or not, natty or not. So there's a whole generation of people who are on steroids, PEDs, that we now know of who aren't competitive. So let's see I'd love to see the stats of those people, because you never, like, I mean, just trickling some sports like Ben Johnson and, some of the baseball players or football
Mhm.
players. But now it's like, you go on these sites and it's like, hey man, I'm going to spring break. I'm 18 and I just started the protocol and I just started a 4-day-a-week program. Hey, I used to play high school, college football. Now I'm getting back in. I just signed up with this company. Like, you know what I mean? It's like so
Right.
different than it was
Well, also the
years
fact
ago.
that
And then, you know,
oh, sorry, we were talking like the other day about how it's easier to find these
oh
substances that are
yeah,
probably not good for people to start when they're young, especially because they're not doing it with any education behind it or any guidance. They're just going for it. So who knows? I don't know. Who knows how long that's been. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, but it's out there now more because it's easier to get because of social media.
Social media is the culprit because
Right.
you got these morons like the Trend Twins and this 14-year-old dude that's taking 10 cc's of Tren a week. They're just stupid, and they're operating off like this romanticism about Tren
yep.
is the amazing drug, and it is an amazing drug. It's a powerful drug, and it does a lot of different things to people. Should a 14-year-old be taking 10 cc's of Tren a week? Absolutely not. But you put it on social media. Oh, that guy's cool. Look at what he's doing. And then you got a whole gang of people following him, thinking that 10 cc's of Tren a week is the coolest thing in the world to do, and I'm going to do it too and look like him. And that's
Well, that's what
just,
they think separates everyone too, John. It's like you have your people who don't compete, who are on stuff, and they think that bodybuilders, top bodybuilders, the only difference between them is that they're taking more.
right.
That's
Yes.
the only
Yes.
difference. It's not
Yes.
genetics
Yeah.
or anything else. They're like, oh, I'm gonna double it up or I'm gonna triple it up now because, oh, that guy's taking a ton. And if you really go back and listen to some of the bodybuilders who talk about what they took, it's like it's not anything that you thought it would. And then obviously there's people who went crazy, but yeah, I mean that's the thing too. The culture now is, oh well, he's on more, that's why he's bigger.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But also, you guys have talked about how in the 80s or 90s or whatever that it was, you would just see it would have like something written in a handwritten label on there, so that's what you would take. Whereas, so
it wasn't that bad. I mean,
but at least I don't know. It just
labels
seems
the labels in crayon.
I mean, but it's funny.
You know,
to me,
it's
though,
funny,
how,
Zach. You
what's
get a
that?
horse's head. Like
The cow.
would
The
distinguish,
cow. Remember
like,
the
what was
cow in the
different,
corner
like,
of the
on
Equipoise?
Equipoise? Yeah. There was an exodus of like a whole bunch of bodybuilders now owning cattle and owning
Right.
and like horses and stuff back in the day, like it was, so they can get the stuff. I was laughing, and they get Equipoise and all that other stuff.
I remember
Cannibal.
buying the Tren pellets that they put in a cow's ear, with the gun. And you got to like grind them up and, dissolve it in oil, filter it out. It was this whole they actually sold a kit to do it. You had and the thing was, the pellets were totally legal. You call up a feed store and you say, I need Tren, whatever they were called, pellets, and they just send them to you. No, nothing. No driver's license, just send it to you. You get this pile of Tren pellets in the mail. You're brewing up this shit, and you think I'm the only one who did that? I mean, tons of guys did that, and a lot of them did it wrong, and they paid the price.
Yeah, they made it in their bathtubs. They made the parabolin in their bathtub.
Yep.
A lot of them.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was
I don't
like,
know who the
what are you-
crackling
what
is.
are you
I don't
making?
know. I think it could be John. I changed my thing. Maybe it's John.
Here, I'll mute me.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello? It's
I
not
don't
me.
hear any crackling now. Yeah, I do.
It's not me.
What is that?
Hello?
I want to scream. Like, I'm really, I can't even tell you. Like, this is the type of stuff that just, it makes
Frankie, are
me
you crunching your
mad.
toes?
insane.
It's maddening. Maddening.
Ah, man.
So
I
our
don't get
our
it.
videos are doing good from Strength Club New York City with
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Kenny Santucci. Those look pretty
Nice.
good. That sand dune thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sandu went up
That's
there. I
pretty good.
sent. So I wanted to show you this, Frank, because I cut the video yesterday, and then I've been using these ever since we went in there, and the Y bells.
Oh,
So
those are cool.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing that he put in there. Yeah, they.
Oh, wow, you got one. You're muted, Zach. And the crackling has stopped.
Okay, how's that better?
It's you. It's you. When you touched that button, it crackled. Didn't it, Zach? Didn't it, Frankie? I swear
Yeah.
to God it did.
I'm not touching anything.
There you go. You're not crackling. Dad's crackling. You're
All right,
good.
I'm gonna fix this.
All right,
I don't
good.
know what's happening. All
I
right,
think
so
you
yeah,
just
this is this thing is pretty sweet, dude. So like when Kenny had it at his gym, I'm looking at it and I was like, I was curious what he used them for. It's just cool because it's like multi-grip. You can kind of switch it around and without having to, you can still obviously use kettlebells and dumbbells for a lot of the same things, but no, it's just I like toys. Like I like
The ones
gym
I
toys.
like are the spheres.
Me
With,
too.
with the handle inside.
Those
So
are
it looks like
awesome.
you got a bowling ball in each hand.
I don't even know the name of those. I'm curious if anybody knows the name of that product. I would love to know it because I'm dying. here.
J-Bells or one because that guy
How
that
did you
owns
get
it.
that?
I
What's
think
the
they're
one
called
with the two
J-Bells.
handles on it? The two handles, and it almost looks like a barrel. Has two hands on it. It's like 30 to 70 pounds, and you put it behind your neck, or you use it as like a lunge. I saw Breon Ansley using it. It looks pretty good. It looks like a giant. It looks like a giant heavy bag with handles on it.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm gonna look now
Yeah,
because
it might be good for it might be good for death race training, honestly, because it's like it's softer, easier to use, other than a barbell, overhead. I'll have to
It's
find a
cool.
video for you, Zach. but
Yeah,
definitely
please
should use
do
it.
because I just wrote it down
Here
to
you
find
go,
out. Yeah, those. Okay, I see it. What's it called? Does it say the name? I saw it 3 down. Oh, he's got to
Well,
get
I
his
know
other.
that I know
he's gotta
that
get his
dude
other
Jay
specs.
from Vegas, the gym, sphere weights, center mass bell, globe dumbbells, center mass. That's what they call them.
All right, cool. That's good to know.
They
But
come in
yeah.
silicone too.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So these were solid, but yeah, we're talking about sandbags. Gelfing. I think Frank was talking about seeing Andre Ferguson using them. So he's going to send me the video. I don't know what they're called. I want to know what they're called.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Breon.
Yeah, they look cool.
Apologies.
Yeah, they look cool. And by the way, the videos from the dog thing this weekend with Mike Ruiz, the charity event, there all the stuff is going like worldwide. They hired a PR firm to take all of our content, and we're going on local like Channel 11 and this and that to promote. So August 19th, I'm going with Mike into a new rescue place in Queens, and there's 7 dogs that we're gonna go try to get adopted, and then I guess Channel 11 and a couple of other networks are we're gonna be on to try to help facilitate some homes for the pups.
That's
Cool.
awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, man, that's so cool. That
I love
that
hearing shit like
shoot
that.
again, October 1st. I don't know if people still write stuff down, but that's when you can pre-order the calendar, and please do it. It helps tremendous. A really great place called Louis Legacy. I just learned about it. Frank introduced me to it. It's so cool. It helps get these dogs homes and rescue. These are rescue dogs that really, really need a home. So, fork over a little bit of cash and support the cause, would you?
1000%. Yeah.
Yep.
Let me see here. What else? Okay, I got one more thing.
What do you got?
It's called. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's called the fart walk. Did you? I swear to God.
Me every night.
I know that's what it is, though. It's basically like it's walking after you eat to get all your farts out, so you feel better and less bloated. They call it a fart walk. I'm like,
It works.
that's yeah.
I walk every night, and man, I don't know where it comes from, but like, what the fuck is with this gas? And I think it is that true, because it's usually I've eaten maybe an hour before, and that's probably what does it.
I can't tell you that I've ever scheduled a fart walk, but I never thought it would have a name. But
Well, now I know it's got a name. I'll tell my wife tonight. We're gonna start. Let's take the fart walk.
let's take a fart walk.
Don't bring a lighter. You'll blow up the whole park. Right?
You stay on one side of the road. I'll stay on the other. but
You want to be. I want to be in the head of that. I want to be ahead of the pack. I don't want to be back everybody else.
But I mean, dude, what's next? I guarantee somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, I saw this thing trending, the fart walk. Let's find a program and sell it." And they're gonna sell
and
something.
How would
Diarrhea
you make a competition out of that? You'd have to who farts the most, the loudest, the smelliest. I think you could have all these different divisions. Men, women. You could have everybody.
I think it's a great idea. Listen.
I was on a moving truck.
Now, if a dude competes against a girl in that sport, he's definitely going to win.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Lactose intolerant.
I've been around some women that really tear it up.
I got a rant Frankie will like, I think.
What?
Okay, so there were a lot of shows last weekend, right? I think 4 or 5 probably around the world.
Yep.
And Monday, of course, you start getting everybody's, posts on social media about how they did, and their pictures of their trophies and their placings and everything. And invariably, as you always do, especially with a concentration of shows like that, you're going to undoubtedly get the people who make comments like this. How did you do? Top 8. You mean you got 8th? They don't do top 8. You mean you got 8th? There was a lot of guys. No, that's it. You got 8th. My second favorite to that is, how'd you do? Oh, I got 3rd. You got 3rd? That's pretty good. Then you find out there's 3 people in the class. So you didn't get 3rd. You got last.
Right.
Oh God.
And they hold up these trophies like they're hard-won battles when they had nobody in the class. So there were, amateur shows over the weekend. You got, over 90 with one leg. You're going to have one guy in the class. He wins the show. He wins his class. And you got, how did you do? Oh, I won. I got first place. I got you won because there was nobody else. If you had anybody else in that class, they would have destroyed you. And
it's amazing. It's amazing, right? How they go right really quick. Because you'll see previous posts. It's like, the king has risen, and I will be here hailed the next Mr. Olympia. They do a local NPC show, and I'm in it 100%. I'm in it to win. And then they're like, had the best time at the show. Placings don't matter. I'm only competing against myself. And it's like, oh, so you so you didn't place.
Yeah,
right? Like,
no, my favorite. I brought home some hardware. Brought home the hardware. There was no one else to give it to. It was like, of course you brought it home.
It's funny, man. There's a guy in New York who competes in every single division at every show, and if there's nobody in his class, I mean, he's horrific. He doesn't even. I don't think he's trained a day in his life, and he probably legitimately has 50 to 60 trophies.
Yep.
Because he'll go into over 50 men's bodybuilding, 176, and there's like 2 guys in there. He's getting a second place trophy. He'll go into these obscure classes and get these trophies. But
there's literally guys who do that. They analyze the shows over the years. They see what divisions there are, and if they got some obscure class they fit in that they know is only 2 people are going to show up, they guarantee to bring themselves home a trophy. And that's and then they got their mantle loaded with these trophies, and the guy, like, remember, Frankie, you remember, I'm sure Zach doesn't, Jocelyn Paltier. Do you remember him?
Yeah. Yep.
Zach, he back in the day, 100 years ago, he was a good bodybuilder, but he never stopped competing, and he would paint himself. That dye he used, remember, it was green. He would come out green. And
like Kermit.
Some tan product they used. He looked like a frog. Terrible physique, terrible, fat, out of shape, no muscle, and he would go to the Night of Champions every year, right? Because he was, it was a pro.
It's like that's like being a gladiator, right? Like, and then all of a sudden, as you get older, you're fighting rabbits or something.
Right.
You
can't kill a rabbit for dinner.
I got another. I got a rant. So it is driving me crazy how I put up a photo or video respectfully of wheelchair competitors, and I love them. Respect, inspiration. These people are very inspirational. You have these idiots who put in bro skip leg day. Like, are you kidding me? So I replied back to him, like, I said, I go, what kind of person would say that about somebody who doesn't have the ability to walk? And they're like, bro, it's just a joke. And then you look at the picture, and the guy's like, some men's physique competitor, like whatever it was. But I'm like, are you kidding? And it's more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what thinks, like, you're going around making fun of people with disability. I mean, that's nothing. There's no joke in it. Tell me the joke. You can't, tell me the joke in that. It's disgusting. And if you do it, you're getting blocked on every single channel. Let me just tell you that right now, because it's disgusting.
To me, it's like,
you have cancer. Like, are you gonna make fun of people who have cancer too?
Right. Like, it's like let me punch you in the face, and then I'll make fun of the fact you only have one eye.
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. That's
we have people who fought in this country, and lost the capabilities to walk, and now competing and around the world. And you get these idiots that put this stuff up and say, oh, it's just a joke. But God forbid you fire back and say, oh, do you even lift? Like, oh my God, I can't believe they said that to me. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. But I mean, it's not a joke, it's not funny, and it's disgusting, and you're gonna get blocked. That's all I have to say.
That's horrible. I mean, how heartless can you get, too? First of all, you said it. Shouldn't you be happy that these folks are found something that they're good at, that they're doing that's positive, that's showing other folks that may be in the same situation, that you don't have to just sit there and you can still do the things you like to do. You might have to modify it, but That's the message, man. The message is that it's not to make fun of the fact that they're physically incapable of doing what you can do. That is horrible. That's horrendous.
And
Sick.
to boot, the guy that the number one facilitator on this was a men's physique competitor. His legs, I don't think he knows what a leg day looks like. If I were to stand up any of the competitors, because he's a men's physique competitor, and put them in board shorts, they would kick his ass 10 times over. So this guy's saying something about their legs, but yet he's never trained his legs, too. So it's just a complete dirtbag.
Frankie, I think social media also is culpable in that, because it's like social media allows people to just say anything, and then they can brush it off as a joke. Like, you blah blah blah. You're 100,000 pounds. You're ugly as fuck, and blah blah blah. Well, I'm only joking. Yeah, is that a sense of humor? That's like social media provides for total lack of humor to be humorous. And it's nuts. Like, you can't do that to somebody. A guy in a wheelchair, you make fun of a guy in a wheelchair. That's not funny. On no planet in the universe is that funny. And if you think that's funny, you are fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's karma's going to come get them, believe me.
But also, what a bad look. That person's a competitor. Like, they put them, they're out there in this community being seen as a total asshole with no heart. And I don't know, like, it's dumping on other competitors. Like, why would you want to even put yourself in that situation? It's not professional. It's a really bad look. I don't get it.
They honestly, they think partially too, they think it's funny and they're going to get some attention. And that's the major thing. Whatever you can do to get attention. Like, you have these people who've never competed are doing side-by-side shots and videos of them against Chris Bumstead. And they're like, we're coming. And I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Like, I can honestly say you're 10 clicks in front of the camera more than he is, number one. You're not on stage. It's like, there's all sorts of wrong, but there's just very some mentally unstable people out there.
No kidding, dude. John, let me ask you, when you talked to PJ Braun, what did he say about not just his stint in prison, but just in general? Like, what's he doing now? Like, how does he bounce back from that?
Well, it's a cool interview. I've always liked PJ. I've always liked him and had respect for his ability to persevere and keep going. He's got a very good attitude, and that was very evident during the interview. A lot of guys get out of prison after losing everything and spending a couple of years or more, down. They come out very bitter, and I was very pleased to see that after everything that he had been through, friends ratting on him, and all the money he spent, and losing everything and going to jail and all of that stuff, he came out of it in very good spirits. And I was really happy to see that. And it kind of made me feel like, yeah, that's PJ. PJ would do that. PJ would not come out bitter and nasty and angry, and he'd make the most of it. And he's like, I'm willing to forgive and forget and move on. And that's all he wants to do. The funny thing is, he still owns part of Blackstone, and he's not allowed to work it, take money from it, be involved with it at all because of his the conditions of his parole. It's freaking weird. So even
he's an
even
owner and gets no money from it?
No, he can't touch his own company.
That's so weird.
It's freaking nuts.
I don't understand that at all.
Me neither. So, but but as frustrating as that would be, he's in good spirits. He's happy. He's ready to move on. I was so happy to see that, because I genuinely like the guy, and I would really not have liked to see him with a giant chip on his shoulder, bitter, angry, trying to get people back. And you know what I mean? It was just nice to see him. Like, he came out on top is basically what I'm saying. And he'll make money. He'll land on his feet. The guy's ferocious. He'll make money.
But can he wait it out? So if he waits it out and he gets off parole, then he can start to receive money from the company that he's part owner of?
I don't know the specifics, Zach, but I'm sure it's something that's going to get worked out, with lawyers. But it's really dumb.
It sounds like another headache, but at least he's kind of shrugging it off, I guess. I've
Yeah,
never
he
met
is.
him. I've only heard his name, and I've obviously seen his story in the news. But yeah, look, I'm glad that he's feeling good.
Yeah.
And he's probably just happy to be out of there and back. If he has a family, at least back with them. That's probably
Yeah, we should get him on here because he's a good interview.
That's
yeah,
that's a good also too. It's good to see that, John, right? Because too many people like to see the downfall of people
Yeah.
because of the jealousy and stuff, you know. And it's
Yep.
like, I hate that. They're like, you know, I can't stand people like that. They're like, they feel better. I don't know if they feel better about themselves when someone else isn't doing good or something bad
Right.
happens to them. It's just,
Yeah. There's people like
not,
that.
you know,
Yep.
Yeah, there is
a lot
and-
of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look. This industry is also filled with a lot of, as you said, a lot of jealousy. A lot
Yeah.
of people wanting to find ways to usurp whoever is in front of them and take their business, get a chunk of that. Whether it's a supplement company, apparel, or whether it's just being a competitor that's winning. Because the more you win, the more you're out there, the more opportunity that opens up for you. So
Right.
it is nice to see that somebody's bouncing back, and hopefully get some support from.
And you know, bouncing back is good because a guy like that is going to create opportunities for other people. You know, when you're of that mindset and that ability and have those connections that you can come back and open another business, start a new line, do whatever, you're creating opportunities for other people. You're creating jobs. You're creating, facilitating other people's needs. And I think that's a beautiful thing, you know? So
Yeah, for sure.
I was so happy to see him in that kind of mindset, you know, when we had him on.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll work on it.
All right, cool.
I mean, if you know him, yeah, like
I'll get him
talk to him.
on next week. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, listen, we've gone on for about 1 hour and 10. We're going to cut it off and we'll be back Tuesday. And thanks, everybody. Hopefully you guys were happy with some of even the masturbation questions. Thanks. Keep them coming. We love talking about masturbation and ejaculation.
We love masturbation
It's
questions.
fantastic. It really sets us up for the weekend.
Men and women.
All right.
We don't pull punch.
All right.